How much does it cost us to sail for a week in Greece? I reckon it'll be less than you think. Drop your best guess in the comments below.
We've just arrived in Greece after sailing from Italy, and as we set out to explore the Ionian Islands, we thought it would be a good week to talk about how much it actually costs to live aboard here in Greece.
As we start to island hop our way down the Ionian, we'll try to keep it pretty simple, anchoring as much as we can, sailing whenever we can, but of course there are going to be costs involved. So let's break those down, starting with costs that we had to pay even before we arrived in the country.
As we cross into Greece, we need to make sure our cruising tax is paid in advance.
I've been able to register for the eTEPAI online on our cruise over from Italy. Super easy. It costs us about 125 euros for 5 months. We plan to be cruising here in the Mediterranean, about 6 euros per week, which overall is pretty affordable for cruising tax.
Our first stop is the Anchorage in Erokoussa. Strictly speaking, we should head for the closest port authority to register the boat and crew. Practically, I think we'll be okay here for a day or two.
We're excited to be back in Greece, where ample protected anchorages like this are the rule and not the exception, something we missed sailing in the southeast of Italy. We do, however, need to grab a few supplies ashore.
Erokoussa has a small village with a handful of shops and restaurants. However, being quite remote, you can expect a bit of a premium.
What did you get and how much did you spend?
55 euros on groceries. I'm guessing mainly that was beer. I didn't buy very much else.
Is it expensive over there?
Pretty expensive. Double prices probably. I also got some local treats from the bakery and they let me use the toilet. I think it cost like 12 euros and I got 3 treats and a baguette.
The first cheese pie of the year. Solid. 7.5.
We haven't missed how busy anchorages get in Greece.
First day back in Greece, it didn't disappoint. There's already been a boat pull off its anchor and drift into another boat and yelling and screaming.
But we have to admit, the occasional drifting charter boat certainly keeps things interesting.
It's a bit different from sailing in Italy where there were no other boats to worry about. We're supposed to be studying our RYA theoretical right now, but it's good practical stuff.
We're leaving Erokoussa behind us, made a great little stopover, and now we're continuing on to the island of Corfu, a place where we've spent plenty of time over the last couple of seasons. We're headed for the northeast of the island, a little settlement called Kassiopi. There is a little public quay there, but it's quite expensive just to med more. So we'll save our marina fees for tomorrow when we travel on to Gyros, and we get a full-size marina with all the bells and whistles. But tonight we'll just anchor. There's an anchorage on the eastern side, which should be very well protected. And when we get there, we'll see, maybe we walk into the town and check it out. We've got a 4-hour sail ahead of us, or a motor, because there's no wind to get through first. So we'll see how we feel when we get there.
While the crew naps, I dust off what might be the least successful fishing rod in the entire Mediterranean.
But before I can land the big one, the breeze starts to pick up and the crew is back on deck.
We arrive. It's a hot afternoon and it feels like too much to get everyone ready to go into town. A foraging party is elected.
Just walking into town now to pick up some dinner at Gyros. Good?
After dinner, we settle in to watch a movie.
Free.
We're leaving our little anchorage in Kassiopi behind. We're headed for the marina in Gyros now. It's about a 3-hour sail. We booked a place online in advance. Cost about 75 euro, which is getting pretty exy for our little 29-foot boat. They charge us a little premium for using electricity and water as well, which is cheeky, but it's one of the main reasons we need to go in. Additionally, we need to do a grocery run, we need to swap our gas cylinders out, we need to throw out trash, and we need to see the port authority. And there's a port police in the Gyros marina where we can check in our boat and register our crew list. So it's a pretty essential pit stop, but at 75 euros, it's going to be a big part of our budget this week. The good news is, with not a lot of wind predicted for the rest of the week, it should be the only time we need to use a marina, and we'll be able to stay on anchor hopefully for the next few days.
Hi, we have a reservation for today.
Copy that. Proceed closer to the
After tying up, we sort our rubbish and replace our empty gas cylinder, which cost us another €17.50.
Although the marina fees are getting pretty steep, this marina has a pool, which is very welcoming on a day like today. After a swim, we hopped on the public bus into Corfu Old Town for dinner at one of our favourite restaurants in town. House wine and heaps of Greek tapas cost us €37.
Just did a massive restock at the supermarket, which cost us €124. More than we normally budget for a week's of groceries, but we had to stock up on specialty items plus formula, diapers, because it's been a while since we were near a big supermarket like that one.
When possible, try to use large supermarkets and avoid marina mini-marts, which can be incredibly costly.
Overall, not a bad haul for €124, but that'll definitely keep us going for another week and beyond. Had to buy one last thing before we left today, and that was a hose fitting. It's only $2.50, but trips to the marine store are pretty frequent exercise, and they usually cost a lot more than $2.50. So this week it was $2.50, but next week it might be 50 or 100 or €200. Boat maintenance and upkeep is one of those costs that does never go away. But yeah, this week we got off easy so far. Touch wood.
It's time to head out before we spend any more money.
We're leaving the Gavir Marina behind us. Pretty expensive pit stop, but a very necessary one. We're now stocked up with everything we should need for the next week, so hopefully not too much more to spend on this week's budget. We're headed for the Corfu Anchorage, a free anchorage just outside the old town. We need to run some errands in town tomorrow. It's the perfect place to stay. The only downside is it can get really busy in summer, so hopefully we're able to find a patch of sand, and we'll probably camp there for a couple of nights before starting to make our way down Corfu.
There's a fuel dock here, and we have the opportunity to fill up, but we've mostly sailed the whole way since leaving Italy, so our tanks are pretty much full. Made it into the anchorage in Corfu, and it is as busy as we remember it. This isn't the most stacked I've ever seen it, but there's definitely quite a few boats. But we were able to find a nice little spot of our own to drop the anchor nice and close to the dock, so we can paddle in tomorrow and go into town and run some chores. Only issue is it's really quite shallow when you get close to the shore, and there's a lot of seagrass. So I'm just going to dive on our anchor, make sure that it's properly buried and it's holding well, and make sure we have enough water underneath the boat.
We've managed to find one of the few patches of sand amongst the seagrass. It's time for dinner, and with a fully stocked fridge, we are looking forward to something tasty. It's Nora's first steak, and she's a big fan.
Steak. I just got back from buying 2 SIM cards with Kassiopi.
We were able to get 2 SIM cards with unlimited 5G data and calls for only €7.50 per week.
So, pretty good deal.
Leaving the Corfu Old Town Anchorage behind us, we end up staying 2 nights there, totally free anchorage right next to the town, which is super convenient. And now we're headed south. We're going to another free anchorage just outside Venezia as we continue to make our way down the Ionian. So from here we'll continue making our way down Corfu along the eastern side of the island. We've got a full tank of fuel, full of water, galley stock, the boat's still holding together. So I can't anticipate spending too much more money.
So in 7 days cruising Greece, here's what we spent. Cruising tax, €6. Groceries, €149. Eating out and takeaway, another €59. Marina fees, €75. Maintenance and upkeep, another €20. And finally, mobile data, which costs $7.50. So grand total, €326.50 for a fairly typical week here in Greece for us.
And while that's a pretty typical week, every week can be different. So while we went over in groceries this week, next week a store might send us to the marina, or a stuffed winch might need a call out from the mechanic. To get a full look at our cruising budget, head to the video description below and follow the link to our blog, where you can get a copy of our own personal cruising budget that we use to stay on top of things.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment and let us know, did we go over or under what you expected? And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and hit subscribe. It really helps us out.